Thank you so much for joining my YouTube channel today. Oh my goodness, we're continuing our series on the Holy Spirit, and today we're looking at something really unique and distinct. When I think of the Holy Spirit, especially when I was growing up, I always thought like New Testament stuff. But I've seen the Holy Spirit moving way back at the very beginning when God created the entire universe. And it's in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. And it says this: "The earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was moving or hovering over the surface of the waters." Do you realize that the Holy Spirit is way back at the very beginning, at the very second verse, if you will, of the whole Bible? The Holy Spirit was hovering. And really, sometimes in the Hebrew, there's this idea to the idea of moving over the face, hovering. It's this idea of giving order and structure. And it's a contrast, because when you read the first part of this verse, it says the earth was formless. It means it didn't have form. It was just kind of chaos and pandemonium. It was void, and darkness was over the surface of the earth. And yet, when you realize, face the surface of the deep, when you realize the Holy Spirit coming and hovering or was moving over that, the Holy Spirit starts to give order to chaos, starts to give form to pandemonium, starts to give light and illumination where there's darkness. And I would suggest to you today, because I've seen this happen in my life, sometimes I go through seasons in my life that feel completely unraveled. Everything seems to be formless, chaos, pandemonium, and I can't figure up from slant. I don't know what's going on, and I feel completely at wit's end. And those are those moments when I feel in my heart with a certainty, Holy Spirit, come and hover, please. Come and be all of who you are, and bring order, bring structure, bring schematics, if you will, to the disarray, and line things up, lock things in, and structure stuff. And I want to encourage you today that this is who the Holy Spirit is. And the Holy Spirit organizes things. The Holy Spirit puts things together, aligns things. And what I love about this is this idea that the Holy Spirit will take pieces and parts that seem kind of like unrelated, and the Holy Spirit will knit them together to create a cohesive whole, kind of like a quilt or a mosaic. You look at those little individual squares, and in and of themselves, no big deal. But when you start to form and knit them together, then they start to create a really beautiful, big, expansive picture, and not just these one-on-one little pieces. And this is what the Holy Spirit can do in our lives. Take all those little pieces that seem to be floating and random and completely at ends, and knit them together to create a cohesive whole for a beautiful picture, for a beautiful expression, and really to help you express Jesus more accurately and fully than you ever have before. That's what Holy Spirit can do when we say, come and hover, come and give order, come and give structure, come and align all those disparate pieces and put them together and make something beautiful. So I encourage you today, this is who the Holy Spirit is and can be in your life and not just mine. And of course, I want to encourage you to grab your copy of my latest book, In Step with the Spirit. This book is super, super practical. It's got questions at the end of every chapter. It's got a prayer at the end of every chapter. And it's chock full of stories on connecting and seeing the Holy Spirit, real life stories in your daily living from my life and life of my friends and family. So grab your copy off of Amazon. And of course, I'd love to have your feedback. Give me a thumbs up, some comments. And of course, subscribing is magnificent. Pass this on to your friends. Love to have them subscribe too. And we finish, of course, with this marvelous joke. My youngest son, he always threatens to desubscribe. Mom, if you keep telling those cheesy jokes, I'm going to desubscribe. I don't know. Because I think the jokes are awesome. So here's another cheesy joke. Where was Solomon's temple located? Solomon's temple was located on the side of his head. I know, it's totally bad. But thanks again for watching. We'll catch you next week.